Hey everybody, I'm here with my good friend Loren Mattingly. You are in for a treat. If you are new to fasting, she is going to give really a great interview because she did 6 full days of juice fasting this summer after had never gone beyond 1 day before, never thought about going beyond 1 day. And I think you guys are probably sick to death of hearing me talk about the next book I've read on the transformational power of fasting, or how fasting can totally change your life. But I would love for you to hear from someone else. I'm going to be asking her questions like why she decided to do the fast, how she felt about it, how hard it was, and answer honestly, of course, and kind of what brought her into this work, because we obviously know kind of one another because Faster Way to Fat Loss Coach, and I'll let her tell a little bit of her story. But you just kind of done juices here and there, and maybe a juice ritual from time to time before, right? Okay, so we are gonna hold on this video for 1 second because we're also gonna do this on Instagram Live. She's a busy woman. We don't want to be like double interviewing here, so hold tight while I get us going. Okay, I think we're ready. Here we go. You got it. You got long arms. So long arms, yep. And we'll try and make this. Hey everybody, welcome. I don't do Instagram Live very often. I said that today. I'm not sure why I don't. I'm also doing this on another device so that we can kind of capture Loren's great testimony both places. So if we're kind of looking around, that's why. Thank you for joining. We're going to be talking today about extended fasting. And the reason I asked Loren to join me is because this summer she did her first ever 6-day fast after having never done any fasting work before. You can tell she's super healthy. You can tell she's really into this kind of thing. And so I wanted her to say, like, why had you only really done 1 day of fasting? Why did you kind of get pulled into this guided fast? She participated in our summer guided fast. And so I thought, as we're kicking off our fall guided fast next week, I've heard so many people ask me questions about, hey, why should I do this? Is it long? Is it hard? All these things. So I'm going to let a new expert tell you about it. So Loren, welcome. Thank you for coming to my office. I don't like air conditioning, so there's like super hot in here. So thank you for doing that.
Thanks for having me.
And tell us a little bit about you and all that kind of thing.
All right. So my name is Loren Mattingly. I am in the business of helping people get healthy. And so Kimmy and I just kind of really hit it off because we are kind of in the same industry. And in doing that, I am a Faster Way to Fat Loss coach. So I help busy moms, especially like myself, to create a healthy, sustainable lifestyle. So this is right up my alley.
Have you always been super healthy?
No.
Me neither. Someone else just asked me that earlier today. Like, have you always been drinking juice your whole life? And the answer to that is no. I started making juice at home for myself about like maybe 10 years ago. And before that, I mean, I would have a McDonald's cheeseburger. I've always been an active person though. Like I'm got a lot of energy, and so I've always exercised and, sort of, I guess you would say that part of sort of like health, because there's more to health than just what what you put in your mouth.
Sure.
I've had dialed in. Were you that way too?
Yeah. So just kind of take it back 100 years, it feels like.
Yeah.
I was super active. I was a cheerleader at UK, University of Kentucky. So very active in that part of my life, but the nutrition part was not there. And it's funny to even say this because it doesn't make sense for me to say that I was actually going to school and getting a nutrition degree while I was eating Big Macs and having venti coffees from Starbucks with like 1,000 calories, So anyways, I was leading a double standard or double life, I think.
Right.
Definitely active, but definitely did not really put an emphasis on my nutrition or how that impacted my life.
So you've always been active and sort of super healthy, but you weren't, I always say there's a huge difference. And like, if I could say, if people remember me for one thing, it's like making the best juice in the land. And this idea that you can be super, super thin and sort of have an outward appearance of being healthy, right? But the insides of your body will never, ever lie to you. So things will start breaking down. You will not be feeling your best. I absolutely promise you, you will not age with a youthful countenance. That all bets are off when you're above 45. If you want to have this like really youthful countenance and you want to feel amazing, because those choices just add up. So tell me why you decided to do. So again, she had done 1 day of juice because you've done the juice ritual a lot, and a lot of your clients have done the juice ritual. It's especially helpful, if you've got to kind of get plants into your diet and you want to sort of make that transition to loving plants. But why did you say, holy shit, I want to do 6 full days of juice with our summer fast? Like, did you say, why did you want to do that?
Okay, well, I lost my mind for a second. No, I'm just kidding. It was wonderful. No, mostly because I had gone through summer and literally gotten off the rails. I was enjoying life a little bit too much, a little bit too many desserts, few too many drinks, that kind of thing. And I just had got to the point where I had really lost that want for fruits and vegetables and healthier foods, and I was craving all of the junk again, and I really needed something that was gonna kick my butt and reset me, and this was the perfect opportunity to do that. I knew how great I felt after just 1 day of juicing, so I thought, why not? And I'm kind of the person who is up for a challenge, and I saw it as a great challenge to myself. To be able to go an entire 6 days with just juice. So.
Did you think that you would make it all the way through when you started?
No, I didn't.
I mean, a lot of people say that. They sign up and they say, they sort of half commit. But then I like to say I sort of coax them in. Once we're going, I sort of say, okay, now you got to stick with it and really talk about commitment versus interest. All the tricks to kind of get people through that first phase of the fast. But most people say that they think they're not going to make it, they won't be able to make it, but they still have sort of a deep desire to make a change. So would it be fair to say that you had that kind of fluffy, kind of bloated feeling? Just and when we have that, we all know it. Once our clothes don't fit as well, but moreover, we just feel a little bit like life stops playing with you. And what I would say is you're kind of walking through mud, things just aren't working out. Things that are normally easier are a little harder. And that's why I always say, there's so much more to fasting work, especially with high quality juice, than just dropping a few pounds or, sort of the physical side of fasting. So much more to that. But were you having that sort of experience before?
Yes, absolutely. Just felt low energy, just kind of drained and lethargic and just yuck. And definitely the bloating was an issue. And I knew I just needed something to kind of dial it back in. Something more than just my normal efforts.
And I should mention that during the fall, any of our guided fast work, we only do green juice during the fast. So you said your favorite is the inflammation tonic. That's what she's having now as a treat for sitting in my hot office and visiting with me today on camera. But we don't do any of those juices because we want to keep really our body at a really low kind of sugar coming in. We want it to be super, super low. We don't want to have any insulin response or next to none. So we want to be mostly all green juice. So if you're considering signing up with us next week in the fall, just know that you'll be drinking lots of green juice. You can choose 3 days as opposed to 6 days, but I always encourage people, if you are taking the plunge, take it. You won't be sorry. The first 3 days, you can attest to me and that I'm telling you the truth, are the hardest part of the fast. The hardest part. Your body is transitioning from a different fuel source, and it has to kind of get into that fast. And so those first 3 days of fasting, the body is saying, wait, I'm looking everywhere for a carbohydrate fuel source, and I have none, I just have nothing. So is that your experience, that the first 3 were harder?
Yeah, I think after I got through the first couple of days, I was like, oh, I'm in it to win it. And so, once you get that far, you're like, you can't back out now. So it just mentally, it got easier for sure.
Now, did you find when you broke the fast that food tasted so much better?
Oh, yeah. And I was definitely craving, I could not wait to break my fast with a big salad. It was not like I wanted to go eat, a brownie or something sweet. It was, I was craving vegetables, actually.
Right. And what happens when we drink juice, well-made organic juice that has mostly plants? I always add that caveat. Can't have a lot of fruit juice. The bacteria in our gut changes. The juice cultivates a type of bacteria. I call them kind of like our star players. And those star players are anti-obesogenic, so they allow calories to pass through. They tell our brain to eat more plants, more things that create that sort of all-star bacteria. as opposed to the bacteria, which I call kind of our bench warmers on the team. They hold on to everything. They tell our brain to want more junky food. And so we have to sometimes right that ship in our gut. I mean, everything begins in the gut, and it certainly informs our food choices. So that's a thing I hear from people coming off of a longer fast is, oh my gosh, food tastes amazing.
Yes.
And the food that I want has changed,
Exactly.
which was your goal.
Yes, that was exactly what I had set out to do, and I feel like I accomplished that 100%.
Yes. And did you feel any sort of emotional likeness? Did you feel that you were sort of like back in the game? I mean, what sort of experience how would you describe that?
I just felt more energized and more focused on feeling my body right again after getting way off track. It just helped me to just kind of recommit mentally and physically, for sure.
Was it hard drinking green juice for 6 straight days? How would you rate it? Medium, hard, like super hard?
There were hard moments where I could give it like an 8. For instance, whenever I was having to make a cake from scratch for my family's cookout on day 6 of the fast. That was tough. I would give that one an 8. But, overall, I thought this is not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was pretty much a breeze. I actually enjoyed it. Just honestly, like not having to cook or think about what I was going to eat for 6 days. I was like, this is kind of a good break.
Yeah, that's exactly, you said exactly what Dr. Coleman always says. Amy Coleman always does the long guided fast. We guide them together. And she and I always do the fast of various durations, just depending on where we are and what's happening in our lives. But I am doing the full 6 days next week for anybody who is interested in that. But she always says, I freaking love this. I don't have to worry about what I'm eating because like she is super dialed in on nutrition and rarely goes off track. So for her, preparing work for her clinic or preparing food to take her clinic all day, she's like, this is so easy for me. I actually think the hardest part is making dinner for my family. That's what I would say. Like, I just think my family still thinks that I'm going to make this dinner for them. And I'm like, guys, can we have something like lower key? So I do try and do some lower key. My mom, my kids are probably like, yay, mom's doing a juice fast. We might get to eat out, more than we do. So
yeah, I did tell them they were kind of on their own that week. I'm like, I'm not going to be in the kitchen cooking a whole lot for you all.
Yeah,
so,
you have to
there's stuff in the freezer. You got this.
Fend for yourself. Eat something. Yes, that's true. Yeah. I think that was the harder part for me. Yeah. But the mornings and the middle of the day and all that, and that's just a question we get a lot is, how hard is it? I believe at the dinner time hour, if you are in service to a family, children, that can be a little bit tricky. I also think during a long fast, I don't know if you do this, but I always encourage people doing it as part of my guidance to really take some time for yourself. I don't know if you were able to do that because you are a mother to young children and busy, obviously, but did you do something did you find that you were able to relax and do a few just kind of take your foot off the gas pedal?
Yeah, and actually what I did, and I took your advice on this when I was, I religiously watched the videos, the trainings, I did what I was supposed to do, and Kimmy recommended maybe doing a detox bath every night, and I thought, well, the perfect time to do that would be when my family is sitting down to dinner. So they had their dinner, I took a detox bath, just to kind of relax and add to what I was already doing as far as removing toxins from the body. So that was nice. I got that me time just for a few minutes in the evening at least.
Yeah, or take a walk. That's also a really good one. Another thing people tell me a lot, and that's what I'm just wondering if this happened to you, is that that you have super glowing skin on a fast. Did you think that your skin was like super clear and your eyes get super clear? It's like you are really operating on nature's perfect fuel. Your body has gone into what we'll call rest and repair mode. There's a big word, autophagy, and we could all argue about when our body actually gets there, but there's no denying, there's no disputing the fact that you do spend 6 full days where your body is not pulling energy to digest anything, and you're making nature's perfect fuel, which is organic green plants, easily assimilated by the liver in the body because it's in juice form. And so there's nothing for your body to do except for rest, repair, and your skin really shows that, I think. I think you get super glowing skin during fast.
Yeah, absolutely. No breakouts whatsoever. It was nice.
Yeah.
And in general, when you're fasting and eating clean and, providing your body with those fruits and vegetables, the whole foods rather than the processed junk, you're going to have better skin.
Yeah, you're just going to feel better too.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have the experience, anybody watching on the video or watching on Instagram Live, if you do have a question about the fast, we have answers, and questions are not a problem. You can direct message us. Sometimes we're not the fastest at responding to everybody because there's a lot of them, but you can obviously reach out to us, and I would even have a conversation with you if you were worried about doing it or had questions about doing it. But the thing to think about if you are considering the fast is, you should really feel amazing. You really should. Your body is not designed to decompose or sort of like decay with age. You should really feel more vibrant and look your best and feel your best and sort of be doing your best work at every decade. And if you don't feel that way, then something is wrong. And it could be as easy as, taking 6 days to sort of like reprogram your body, reprogram your mind, get in touch with kind of like why you're really here. Because if you're not busy digesting food, you're putting in nature's perfect fuel, then your mind has really no place to go. You have a lot of time to really think about, you're sort of forced to think about what I really want to do and am I doing my best in the world? And so all the pieces kind of come together. So if you're thinking that life doesn't feel that way for you, you should try an extended fast. And if us shipping juice to you is not within your purview, then you can make your own juice at home. Just try doing an extended fast. That's the key. My last question for you is, did you think that it would have been harder or easier without being part of a guided fast? So if you were just going to do this on your own, did you?
Oh, yeah. It was definitely nice to have, like I had already mentioned, the trainings that you provide in the community and that support, and she's checking in on you guys daily and asking questions and seeing how you're feeling, and you can interact. And I think that community type environment is definitely going to push you forward and keep you
well, and other people are doing it with you. It's like if that there are 300 other people around the country that are also having green juice for freaking dinner on day 2, then it's a little bit easier for you to do the same and not be like, oh, hell, forget it. Yeah, I'm just going to eat. You're sort of like more committed. So that's good. So anything else you would share about green juice? What's your favorite juice at the Weekly Juicery? I usually ask everybody that question.
Think my favorite's probably the Felon Melon. I just love the flavor of that one. However, that's, not something that you will get in the guided fast because it's, fruit. But if I had to, let's see, what are the names of the green ones?
Green Acres, Green Lemonade, Bluegrass Sunrise.
Green Acres and Bluegrass Sunrise are
celery
so good.
elixir.
I love those.
Yeah, you will be getting, I forgot to say this, thank you for reminding me. You will be getting inside the guided fast, you'll have 6 juices a day. If that's too much juice for you, many people opt to save them to, for later to break the fast or have 1 juice a day, or you can freeze them, totally your choice. But you'll also be getting the yellow polka dot bikini, which is a heavy citrus drink. And we do that because it helps pull mucus out of the GI tract. Believe it, we all have it, and it shouldn't be there in excess. And so what we do is we put that in and we make jazzy water throughout the fast, and just to kind of help with something else to drink. So all green juice plus the yellow polka dot bikini, which was I always am so thankful to have that one as part of the fast. Well, thank you so much for coming. Thank you guys for watching on Instagram. If you have questions, let us know. For you guys who are watching this video later, you can let us know too. But thank you so much, and to have you in person. She just happened to be in Lexington today, so that was great. Thank you so much.
Bye.
And I'll edit that out.